Hey YouTube, ZeroMagnumX here. This is going to be kind of a Kaijudo Korner, but more so how to play the game. This is for all those who don't know how to play, and it's going to be a tutorial for everybody, okay? So we're going to keep it basic. I have my Cobalt control deck, which isn't quite complete. I'm still waiting for the Cobalts in the mail. And we have a green-red dragon deck we put together. For those who are watching to enjoy the game, don't. This isn't going to be like a recording for us to be like, oh yeah, this game is going to be one of the best ever. We're teaching the mechanics in the game, and we may not make the best plays in order to show off some of the cards and show off the ideas. Like if a blocker is a bad idea for me to play or for her to play, we may opt to play it anyway just to show off the game itself, to teach different cards as they come up. Okay, as you start, like any card game, you randomly choose who goes first, so we'll just use rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Fine. Alright, I'll start. Jeez. Okay, now each player shuffles up their deck, of course, and then offers a cut. And then each player takes the top 5 cards of their deck and they go face down as shields. And then each player draws 5 cards. Now, as you begin, the first player does not draw a card. The second player will be able to. To start off, you take one of the cards from your hand and you put it upside down into this zone as mana. So I'm going to choose one of my cards. It goes upside down here. The battle zone is here, the shield zone is here, and the upside down cards for mana go here. And since I played a mana, I will pass the turn. Mana are your resources for cards. They have levels on them. The level is indicated by the number that is on top of the card. She taps for a level 1 card called Prickleback. It has 2000 power and it is level 1. Creatures in this game do not have haste, unless they have what is called fast attack. So whenever you play them, they cannot attack as soon as they come into play. Now I'll draw for turn. Going to play another card as a mana, and I will pass turn. She untaps mana and draws. Now to go over the mana system, okay, Kaijudo is very simplistic. For those of you who play MTG, Kaijudo is very, very vastly different. All you have to do is have one color of the mana zone, and all your mana produces that same color. What I mean is, my deck is 3 colors. So if I have a black, a blue, and a light in my mana zone, all my colors produce all the colors of the current mana. It unlocks, as I said. So she can now play anything in her deck that is red or green. So now she attack steps. You attack and you choose a shield to break. Then the shield you choose either goes to your hand, or if it's a shield trigger and it will be marked on the card, you can play to activate for its effect. I say, in this case, I did not get a shield trigger, so it moves to my hand. Now, Prickleback has an ability, it just bounces back to her hand after it attacks. So now it moves to my turn, and then I draw. Okay, now I'm going to play Bone Blades in my mana zone. Now I'm going to tap 3 mana, that means turn and get sideways. And I'm going to play a blockers unit. Blockers generally, they're either very highly costed, or for the even cost, they either have Skirmisher on them or Guard. Guard means the unit cannot attack at all, and Skirmisher means they can only attack creatures. Blockers can block immediately as soon as they're on the battlefield. So, if she would have a unit to attack around her turn, I can immediately turn the card sideways to divert an attack from my shields or from another creature even to my blocker. In this game, you can only attack tapped creatures unless cards state otherwise. Go ahead. In order to attack, you simply compare powers, and the one with the higher power wins that battle. If they're tied, they both go to the discard pile. And if it's lower than the higher power, the one that loses the battle automatically is gone. Such as if my blocker had less power than a card she played, my blocker would go and her card would stay. Now draw for turn. And I'm going to play this, and I'm going to activate a spell card. Spell cards also can have Shield Blast. They give you different abilities. They don't have a power or anything to attack. Think of them if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you know, actual spell cards are an MTG, as in Magic the Gathering. They're sorceries. So for Spy Mission, it's a Shield Blast as well on the card. Not sure if you guys can see. So I'll show you. It says Shield Blast, so you can activate it freely from one of your broken shields. And then whenever it's activated as such, you can cast it for free. But I'm hard casting it through mana. And then this simply allows me to draw 2 cards, and I will pass the turn. Okay, she plays a card with an Enter the Battlefield ability. It's called Bronze Arm Tribe. It allows her to take the top card of her deck and put it into her mana zone if she wishes. So she does so and thus gets an additional mana. From there she passes the turn. I move to my step, I untap, then I draw for turn. Now to keep my cards moving, I'm going to play a card known as Blinder Beetle into my mana zone. I will tap 3 to cast another unit, which is also Blinder Beetle. Blinder Beetle allows me to tap her creature. This is an example of attacking a tapped creature. Skirmisher, this is a blocker, but it allows me to also attack attack tapped creatures. But it can only attack creatures. So my card is going to go into attacking her card, and it retires to the drop zone. For those Vanguard players, for Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, it goes to the graveyard. For MTG, it goes to the graveyard. It's the discard pile in this game. Go ahead. They didn't really give it a fancy name. The game is very simple. The first one to break all 5 shields and deal a final blow wins the game. Cards which have double and triple breaker break shields at the same time. That's important to note because it means that you cannot win on a double breaker attacking you. She plays her spell, which allows her to draw 2 cards. One goes to her hand and one goes to the mana zone. Just a couple of cards to look at. And then this would go to the graveyard. Now it's my turn. I go to my untap. Then I draw. So I'm going to play a mana for the turn. I'll tap 5. I'm going to play a regular unit. It allows me to return a spell card from my graveyard back to my hand. And I'm going to attack with Blinder Beetle at this shield. She checks for a trigger. If not, it goes back to her hand. I'll pass the turn. Normally I play this deck very differently than I am for this, but like I said, this is a tutorial for everybody to see and to know how the game goes. So I'm playing it as if it were a starter deck instead of what it's meant to be. Okay, she plays her creature. It's a Firebird. And she has anything else, she can play more or she can choose to pass. She's going to tap 5 more mana. Or 4 more mana, my mistake. To play Ragefire Tatsira. Now it's a level 5, but the Firebird makes its mana cost 1 less to bring into play. Think of it as cost down for you Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, and Magic players, you should understand what that means. So my turn. I'll untap. And I'll now draw. I'm going to play this into the mana zone. I'm going to tap 7. Gonna kill a Ragefire Tatsirion. I'm going to attack a shield. Blinder Beetle 2 will attack a shield. Now I'll pass the turn. Alright. Alright, my camera does what it always does and cuts out. So, we're back to the game. Just real quick, as a quick note, it's on her turn. Nothing happened in between. We caught the little bleep on my camera telling us it shut off. So she plays a mana for the turn. So she has 9 available, but she has technically 10 available for dragons with the Firebird. Now she has 2 more Firebirds, so their effects will stack and reduce the mana cost. So these can add 2 more toward any of her dragons. It's red-green dragons, so that's a dex focus. So she has a level 7 that she played for 5 mana because of them. Now she passes the turn. Then I draw. I'll play a land. Well, mana in this game. So I have 8 mana available. So I'll tap it. And I'm going to play Issel of the Frozen Wastes. And then I pass turn. Okay, she used an evolution card. Which means, for an evolution card, you can cast a level and then you simply place the type of card that you need to evolve it from on top of the card. So because she's using dragons, she put a dragon on top of a dragon. Now granted, there's not much difference between these two, but it's to show you guys what an evolution is. Okay, it basically gives you more powerful units for having one already on the field. So, because she has a dragon that has 8,000 power for the creature, she now put an 11,000 power creature unit on the field. Okay, and because these reduced dragon spells, they count towards your evolutions.
And it has powerful attack for each of the birds.
Yeah, and they each granted an ability called Powerful Attack. The second thing to note about evolutions is they all have fast attack. So in one turn, had she been able to play, let's say she had 3 birds out, and she played Ragefire Tatsirion for 2 mana because of the 3 birds, and she had like 4 mana extra open to evolve into this dragon, she could immediately attack. Okay, you're attacking shields. I'm going to use my blocker now to divert it to the blocker, and my blocker has a special ability. I'm going to tap down one of her creatures. So we'll tap down a bird. So my blocker dies because this kills it, and her creature is then tapped down.
Special ability.
Now, this has a special ability on it, which you have to read what the special abilities do. In this case, whenever one of the dragons she has wins a battle, she gets to choose a shield and break it. So, it's Bone Blades, so I'm going to activate it as a Shield Blast. This is actually a perfect opportunity for you guys to see Shield Blast. I get to target one of her level 4 or lower creatures and destroy that creature, so I'll send that to the discard pile. Now I untap, and I draw. Going to add a mana to my mana zone. I'm going to tap 9, and I'm going to play Andromeda. Okay. Now then, to continue onward, we're going to enter battle here. Issel is going to attack your 2 shields. Since it's double breaker, it breaks them simultaneously, and she checks both of them to see if she wants to activate any shield triggers or not. So she activates her shield trigger, it goes to the graveyard instead. Now, I could finish her off here, but I'm not going to. In order to show you certain abilities of certain cards, I pass the turn. Now, because Issel is tapped on the battlefield, it prevents my opponent's creatures from untapping. Some of the new dragons in the new set. Oh, I also forgot to activate Andromeda's ability. When it enters battlefield, you add 2 shields face down. So, and I wanted to do that to talk about shield limit. I don't believe there's a maximum shield limit. It's like life. If in Yu-Gi-Oh! You have 8,000 life points and you activate Dain Kito the Cure Master and you gain 1,000, you go up to 9,000 life points. In Magic, if you activate Healing Salve, I believe that's one of them, you gain X amount of life. Or even Heroes Reunion, I think it's called. In Vanguard, if you heal a point of damage, you heal. So, just something for you guys to take note of. Abilities also do not shut down because units are tapped. Okay, she played her own card with 12,000 power. And it has triple breaker on it. That means it would break 3 shields at the same time before it attack, but thankfully it does not have fast attack.
And now I'm going to use its other ability.
Okay, whenever she adds a card to her mana zone, she can check the top card of her deck for a non-evolution creature and call it to the battle zone. If not, it goes on the bottom of her deck. So, she plays a bird, actually, that comes out. So there's a bunch of cards like this in the game that really make different strategies unique to each player. I like Light Civilization and Water Civilization, and I think Darkness is useful, so I play this deck. Is there anything more?
I'm stuck.
Okay. I'll untap. Now, since you got some idea, there are also other abilities. And I'm going to show one of them right now. I'm going to play a card called Fumes. She chooses a card in her hand and then discards it. So because she only had one card, I pinned it down. This deck is known as Cobalt Control. Now she has no blockers on the field, so I can just attack for game. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial just to show you what decks can do and what Kaijudo is, and I hope everyone enjoyed. Alright guys, take care, and ZeroMagnumX out. Peace, YouTube.